Cash flow problems in business can happen for a whole lot of reasons, and they can happen in any size business and at any stage of the business. And sometimes it's just a matter of juggling a few things around in order to get through it, and other times you may need to borrow money to get through it. And other times, in extreme circumstances, you may be finding yourself wondering how you're going to make all your obligations and keep your business running. Hey there, I'm Nafissa Shireen, success coach and business strategist for entrepreneurs, and welcome to Living Forward TV, where I help you to build your business and design your life all around your personal freedom. Each week, I bring you free resources that you can download and use in your business right away so that you can get results faster. And if that sounds like something you'd like to do, then I want to invite you to join my community and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to click the bell notification. That way, you'll be the first to know when I publish a new episode and release new content. Cash flow hiccups and uncertainty can happen in just about any business, and they can happen for any reason. It might be that you have a shortage of sales or a lack of leads, or maybe your client flakes out on you, or maybe you lose a deal that you were expecting. Perhaps your business is seasonal, or maybe you've taken a proactive decision to expand your business, and that means you have to get what you need to make more money before you make the money. It doesn't really matter what the reason is. Whether it's a proactive or a reactive situation, when cash is tight, monthly obligations can sometimes seem absolutely overwhelming. Now, as a side note, I've prepared a worksheet and cheat sheet for you that will help you find and create cash really quickly. So make sure to stay till the end because I'm going to share with you how you can get your hands on that. Now, let's get back to the topic at hand. Money is energy. That's all it is. And how it's showing up in your business is really just a reflection of how you're showing up in your business. And today we're diving into three really important areas to help you with this. The first is your mindset around honoring commitments. The second is how to prevent cash flow problems from happening in the first place. And the third is what to do if a cash crunch does happen. So let's start with number one, honoring commitments. This is a sensitive topic, and I want to start by saying that this is not something that you would do to not honor your commitments. And I'm not diving into this to lecture you in any way, shape, or form, but I do want to talk about it because I've seen this happen time and time again where well-intentioned entrepreneurs overextend themselves, and then they get into a cash crunch, and then they panic because they can't make all their payments. And then they're not thinking straight, and that can happen to anyone, no matter what their intention is. And then when you're in that state of panic, it can get really easy to justify and talk yourself into things like, well, I just won't take the service. Or, I don't really need that. Or it wasn't quite what I expected. It could be whatever. The thing is, it's a commitment. And the last thing you want to do if you're a serious business owner and you're serious about growing your business is to back out of your commitments, because that's going to hurt your reputation. It will get out. And who wants a reputation as being known as someone who doesn't honor their commitments and doesn't pay their bills? And quite frankly, it is completely out of integrity to expect your vendors to pay the price for your decisions. And energetically speaking, as we said, what you put out is what comes back. So if you don't honor the commitments with your vendors, then guess what kind of clients you're going to attract, right? You don't want to attract clients that don't honor their commitments with you. Nobody wants that to happen. Honoring your commitments and making the decision to honor your commitments is what I consider to be a foundational core value that all serious business owners should have. And here's the good news. When you decide that honoring commitments is absolutely non-negotiable, then you're already halfway there to solving cash flow problems. And that brings us to point number two, which is prevention. The reality of being a business owner, so stuff happens. Cash is going to cycle. Some months are up, some months are down. And instead of letting those things control you, by being proactive and adopting the mindset of a CEO, you can step up and you can take control. The first thing I invite you to do is to plan your cash on an annual basis, not monthly, and definitely not daily. What you want to do is get a really good grip on what your average monthly expenditures are, including the pay you want to take home for yourself. And that way you can plan out your cash and you know what you need to cover every single month. And I recommend that you always keep a cash float of about 60 days of operating expenses in your business checking account. And that way, when you have slow months, you can pull from this cash reserve. And then on months where you have a lot more money, then you just pull from that and pay it back and bring your cash reserve back up. But instead, what I see happen is entrepreneurs have a fantastic month, an awesome one, and they take all their money out of their business and then they go spend it. And then they're not prepared for when they have a slow month. However, if you look at this on an annual basis instead of a monthly basis, you can really be proactive about your cash flow and manage it like a CEO. And I get it that you may not have 60 days of cash flow built up right now, but that's a really good goal to have and one I encourage you to work towards. And I challenge you to think about how you can start creating that. One suggestion I have is for every dollar you make, maybe 10% of that goes aside to build up your cash reserve. And in the meantime, until that's built up, and you know what? Even when it is built up, I always feel it's a really good idea to have a line of credit available. And I am not talking about mortgaging your life away or racking up all kinds of credit card debt for emotional purchases or chasing the next best thing. But when you're building your cash flow up, it can be really handy, like to have this line of credit in slow months. And actually, even if you have your cash flowing, I believe having credit available to you is really important in case you need to make a big investment. That way you don't mess up your operating cash flow. It's how you leverage credit to make your money grow. And again, I'm not talking about or advocating creating all kinds of debt. But here's the thing. It's almost impossible to grow a business on a cash-only basis because when cash flow hiccups happen, and they will happen, or it's time to invest in something to grow, you can't opt out of your other expenses or obligations that are required to keep your business running. So having that line of credit available to you can really help you get through those times. And again, this is something you want to pay down as soon as possible when you have the higher months. And of course, it should go without saying that keeping your sales pipeline full and keeping the cash register ringing is the best way to prevent any kind of cash flow problems. Now, that's a lot more than we can talk about today in this episode. And on this channel, we have a lot of resources for you and a lot of previous episodes and downloads that will help you to get clients faster. So I'm going to link to that playlist below in the show notes, and I encourage you to have a watch of all those episodes. Now, if you're thinking that prevention sounds great, but oh my goodness, I'm already in a cash crunch. So what do I do? Well, let's dive into that. First of all, it happens. So the first thing you want to do is lose the guilt and lose the emotional charge. Having a cash flow problem in your business doesn't say anything about you. It doesn't mean anything about you. So just lose the guilt. Actually, you know what it is? All a cash flow problem is a math problem, plain and simple. And this is a place where you want to also have the mindset of a CEO. So first of all, as we talked about earlier, no matter what happens, no matter how tight it is, you want to honor your commitments. But if the cash just isn't there and you've exhausted all your credit and you just can't make the payment, then what do? Well, don't hide. And don't feel embarrassed. Contact your vendor and face it head on. I'm telling you, contacting your vendor is what's going to go a long way with how they feel in protecting your reputation and with them being willing to work with you in a way that works for both of you. Now, you're going to have to expect that they're going to suspend services. I mean, they should suspend services. I mean, if you're behind, you have to expect that. And when they do, don't get all victim-y and blamey. Understand that you created the situation and these are the consequences. And just work with your vendor on solving it and getting them up to date. And really important in communication is letting them know what they can expect from you, when they can expect from you, and keep them posted up until you are fully caught and paid up. And if you can, make a partial payment. That shows such good faith. And if they contact you for whatever reason, don't hide. Answer immediately. Even if what you have to say isn't what they want to hear, in those situations, the communication is what they want most. So do keep them in the loop. And the other thing you want to do when you have a cash shortage is to actually look at your situation and close any money leaks that you might have. Have a good hard look at your discretionary expenses and see which ones could be temporarily cut back or maybe that you don't actually even need at all. And I know I keep saying this, but I'm not talking about the ones you have contracts and commitments for. I'm talking about your month-to-month expenses that don't have a contract. If you don't need them and you can cut them back, it may be a good idea. But here's something really, really important. I'm a firm believer in treating yourself well no matter what your circumstances. So on the personal side of things, if anything needs to be cut back, ask yourself before you do that, what are your absolute non-negotiables? Do you need them in the form they're in? Or can you do something else that still creates that same feeling for you? I've done a whole other video on this topic, and I'm going to link to it below in the show notes. I take you on my personal journey on how I managed a cash crunch. I think one of the most important things in all we're talking about today is that when cash is tight, to really, really make sure you don't ever allow yourself to slip into a scarcity or poverty way of thinking, because that creates a crippling mindset that is going to have repercussions well beyond your temporary cash flow problems, and they can be just temporary. And that brings us to the very last thing you need to do. Get into action. When you're short on cash, you need to create cash flow. Follow up on your receivables, process your billings, call your leads, call past clients and make them a new offer. The worksheet that I have for you has a whole bunch of suggestions to help you get some cash in the door really, really fast. So make sure to download it. The link is right below this video, and follow the advice in there and do your part to get cash in the door. Remember, where your attention goes, energy flows. So the best way to combat cash flow problems and prevent them in your business is to really focus your time, attention, and energy on creating money. If you enjoyed today's episode, then leave me a comment below and tell me what you found most helpful today, and share this with someone who you know needs it. And remember to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. And if you're really serious about growing your business and you would love to hang out with an awesome group of entrepreneurs and get daily inspiration from me, then I'd love to invite you to join the free Living Forward Facebook community and continue the conversation. Simply hop on over to livingforwardcommunity.com, click the Join Now button, and I'll see you on the inside.